Hello everyone. Hello world. Welcome to the stream. Let me turn down my music here so I can hear myself think. Welcome back. It's been a bit. I apologize for the break in between, but you know, life gets in the way and sometimes I don't get to stream as often as I would like, but that's okay. So we're here. So I am going to, I have been working off stream slightly, building out, if you remember last time, we were working on building the foundations for our item management, or basically putting items in our world. But before we get too deep into that, I just want to kind of recap where we are in the game. So this is what it looks like right now. And remember, we can ASCII that image, put an algorithm that will take a regular image that looks like this and turn it into ASCII characters, close fit ASCII characters, so something like that. And then once we start up in the game, looks like we got a couple goblins there, and we can wander around our procedurally generated map with the dynamic lighting there, field of vision, getting chased. Now there should be seeing any item drops. Uh-oh, now we're cornered. And we've got our stats down here. The health bar is going down when we take a hit. And we are going to kill that goblin. So let's see if we can get our... Nope, the kobold's gonna block us. I think we're gonna bite it here. And... oh, we got the kobold! Those guys are normally pretty tough. I'm looking for an item drop. Oh, but alright, we ran into a goblin. You've died. And then there's the ASCII version of our "You have died" screen. I think I'm gonna remove the text up here because it doesn't look perfect. Got a couple extra bumps there. The A is a little distorted. The H is like wonky. So it doesn't work great for fonts, especially if those fonts are below a certain size with relation to the cells in our screen. But the skull looks pretty good. That's what our game looks like right now. Let me first just double check. I didn't see any item drops, so I want to double check and make sure that I pulled the latest code from the repo, because that would be... I guess I can look here too. Decent sword. I don't think I pulled the latest code of the bonehead. Alright, I'm gonna do that right now. Syncing. And if the rest of you want to follow along at home, I've got a link right above to the GitHub repo. All of the source code for this game is there, so you can grab it and look through the source code, follow along at home. Getting a sinker. Okay, it didn't work through the GUI, but I was able to through. Okay, this looks better. So here's our new items config file. We've got 2 items defined so far. We've got a sword and we've got a shield. And I'm going to change the glyph for the sword to be / because, well, because swords / don't they? And then we've got a parenthesis for our shield. So we've got one kind of attack booster drop, and then we've got a defense booster drop. And once we kind of put these in and get the mechanics down of picking them up and equipping, then we can go crazy with adding other items to the world. But so where we left off, rebuild now that I've got the latest so we can see the drops. How's everyone doing today? Alright, let's see if we get an item drop now. Okay, so right away we've got 2 items dropping here. Here's a sword, and then here's a shield. And that's great lucky drop for us. I can get right on top of them, but we have not yet written anything that allows us to pick that thing up and start hacking beasties with it. So we're going to start on that today, see how far we get. So what I'd like to jump to is a game, I think, update routine. Whoop. Okay, update. Right there. The first thing I want to do is alert the player to the fact that there is an item there that can be picked up. So what we're going to do, I think I'm going to add environment update routine here. And what this is going to do, where are we going to put this? Level game routines. Where's our movement? So we can put it right in here. Our combat. Let's just put it right up here. You can always move it. So we'll do like item. So we called it environment update, right? Update. Won't take any params. This will be called like every time we tell the game to update its state. That is what it will be called as part of that loop. And we're only going to call it if the player takes a turn, because, well, I guess maybe we'll find out later if environment update is not the right place. Let's add it for now. If there's other environmental effects that may not depend on the player taking a turn, then around, but I always like to build it for right now, rather than try and over-engineer a solution taking every possibility into account. Build it, and then we can refactor it if we come across a case where the code doesn't really fit our needs in its current form. So, environment update, all this routine is going to do right now is it's going to check, is the player standing on top of an item? And if so, we'll publish a message to the message box on the screen, where we have that scrolling log of messages, and we'll tell them, hey, there's a sword here, or there's a shield here. Alright, so get the player position. Maybe we can pass the player position in. Just gonna pass the whole position in. Not on a Mac today. It's Control, not Command. Okay. The source code in the repo, by the way, it will compile for both Windows and Mac OS, probably Linux as well. I haven't tested it on Linux, but it's just a standard makefile, so it should build on any Unix system that it has all the libraries in the correct space. Let's see. Check one. How's everyone doing out there in chat land? It's quiet chat today. Second, please. Let's hold. Okay, sorry about that. I just wanted something. Okay, so we get the player position and want to basically see if there are any items at that position. And so wrote a routine a while back. I can that basically says give me all of the objects at this position. So let's try get component now. Get at position. Game objects at position. Look at that. Make you autocomplete. Oh my goodness. This keyboard. What does that return? Let's see. Let's find some usage of that. Objects. Position. Oh, that's fine. So it just returns a list. Okay. It'll be a list of game objects. Use that. Where do we use that? Not anywhere in game. Use it. Let's see if we can find that in files. So it's just in screening game. There we go. So, we get here's a place where we're calling it. And in this case, we are using it to see if there's anything that's blocking movement, or what is blocking movement. So let's just look at this. I grab this because I'm lazy and I don't want to keep typing all these different things. So we'll go here. So we'll say grab, check to see items at player's current position. So we'll call this objects, or yeah. Player pods. Seconds. And then we're going to say, we'll call it game object, we'll call it item object maybe. And what we'll do is we will, through the list that we get back, through the list, we'll grab the object at that position, and then we will check to see if they've got, if it's an equipment. So instead of combat, we don't need to check for combat, we need to check for whether it's got an equipment component. Game object get component. For our game object, and we'll get the component, in this case is equipment. Combat. So now if we get back null, or if we get back something that's not null, component, then that means it is an item, an equipment item. So we will set item object to our game object. And we'll break out of the while loop. We're only going to grab the first thing. There really shouldn't be multiple items on any given cell of the map. So now, once we fall out of the loop, or jump out of the loop, we will check and see if we found an item object, and if so, we'll do something interesting. So in this case, that something interesting is recording something to the log, or writing something to the log that says, hey, there's a, something here. And in that case, I think, okay, so I'm grabbing just the generic game object, perfect, because what I need is not the equipment part of it. I think I need the visual component to write it to the log, because that will have the name of the object. Okay, so that'll be the log is part of our in-game screen, which is defined in this file here, screen in game. And here's our render routine for the message log. Basically, it will loop through all of our messages. In the message log. And we have a routine somewhere that will add to the message log. Add messages to log. Add message. Oh, what a convenient name. Okay. So all we're going to do is call add message, and we send it the character string containing our message, and then the color that we want to display that message in. So maybe I think green would be a good color for that. So we'll do add message. And we'll come up with our string. And then the color, or maybe we'll do let's see, RGB. So if we want it to be pretty much green, we'll do 00, not super bright green, but like a fairly bright green. So maybe 9, 0, FF or alpha. The pixel format that we're using is RGBA. So first 2 bytes are red, second 2 bytes are green, third 2 bytes are blue, and then the last 2 bytes are the alpha, indicating how opaque or transparent it might be, because we implemented alpha blending in our rendering engine. So let's see. Before we get to actually adding the message, we need to first figure out what that message is going to be. So we'll define a character string. And then we need to pull. Let's figure out exactly where the name of the item is stored. I forget. I believe it's in our visibility. I think it's the name property of our visibility, because equipment, we don't have a name here in our equipment component. So what we want to pull is the visibility component for our game object, and then grab it, the name. And I don't wanna have to give a damn about you or your inhibitions. And after all, you're the one who taught me love was not so everybody. Grab visibility. However, I'm starting to see this world in the right light, yet it still gets darker. Get game. Let's see, component. Get object. Game object. Get component. There it is. Thank you, autocomplete. And we will pull that from our item object. And the component we're interested in is the So if we got one back, we don't crash. If we didn't, for some reason, if we got something back, then we'll do all this other stuff. And it's going to be vname, the name property. Oh, but we want it to be more than that. We're not just going to put the name of the item. So I guess we could just do that as a test. Alright, I have 2. Alright, let's figure out. Yeah, we'd have to do the memory allocation here. So it's this right here. That's what I figured. So what we need to do is call this SAS printf that will basically allocate enough memory for our string. And it also allows us to do a formatted string. So what we'll do here is there is a do and then I think we'll do, what do we want to do to pick up the object? What key? I think usually there's like usually it's get for G. So we may have to remap our current G, which allows us to toggle the graphics. So maybe T will be toggle graphics and G will be our new get. Do P, get up. Just G for get seems reasonable. And then we need to get, this is where it's a formatted string, and that will just go right into %s. Then we add the message, and then we free the memory, because add message actually will make a copy of the memory before, because it needs to save it for the message log. I don't know where to go. All right, we let's save that. Build. And then see what we can do here. Oh, let's see if we've got a sword. What's gonna? Hey, look at that! There's a sword here. Get it? And right now, G does not do anything. Oh, G doesn't do anything in in-game mode. That only works. I think we're still going to remap the graphics. So, great. That step worked. Let's see if we can find a shield and see if the message... there's a shield. Let's see if it displays appropriately. Yes, there's a shield here. Excellent. There's another sword. Look at all this stuff. Now, I'm detecting a problem in that there don't... Oh, there are monsters. Okay. They're just all hiding. I was like, where are the beasts? They were just hiding in the periphery, apparently. There they are. Alright, excellent. Boom. And we're gonna die. Boom. Alright, so right now, as I said, G is what we hit to toggle between graphical and ASCII mode. So we need to remap that. So that is in, I think that's in our main. That's actually at our top level event handle. It's right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that to T for toggle graphics. And then we can go to our in-game screen and go to the event handler for that. We have an event handler for each of the screens. It's part of the screen's own logic. It's not at the top level game loop. So that we can have the active screen handle the messages that are being sent from the player input. Anybody got any questions, comments, suggestions? Let's see. So showing game, render map, render inventory, stats, and then here, handle event in game. So what we're going to do is add a get. We already have I mapped for inventory overlay, which is the next step. And then Z is our sleep, basically stay in place and try and recover health. So we'll add a new case here. SDLK G. And we'll give it its own scope. And in this case, we're going to say item get, I suppose. Item get. So we'll do some item routines here. And eventually, I mean, our game file is getting, our game.c is getting pretty, you can look at the mini-map over here, it's pretty big right now. And that's generally not something that I like to let lapse for too long, so in a future stream we'll probably do a bit of refactoring, just kind of segmenting this stuff into different source files. But that's for another stream. Or perhaps off stream, because it's really boring. So item get is the routine we're looking for. And basically, we are going to do the same thing that we just did for environment update. We're going to look at the player's position, and then we're going to grab the first item there from our list of items at position, or objects at position, and then actually give it to the player, or put it in their inventory. So we'll grab the player position, and then we are going to do this. Get so instead of printing it to the log, well, we may actually, let's leave that because we will print something to the log. But there's other stuff we need to do first. So first we need to see, can the player pick it up? Because if they're carrying too much already, we don't want to let them pick it up. So the last step is we will write an appropriate message to the log. Either you picked up the, whatever, or you're carrying too much, can't pick it up or something like that. So first step, can the player pick it up? And then if they can, add it to the player inventory. So now we have to think about player inventory. Let's look at our equipment. Equipment has a weight. Each item has a weight, and we're going to need something that represents some data structure that represents the player's the items carried. So I'm thinking it's all our player stuff. I don't think it's in our top level. It's in here. Our player, game object player. So it seems like somewhere in here would be a reasonable place to add a carried items list. So we'll make it a list, and it'll be carried items. And so in our games data init, we're going to need to, we also should define max weight allowed or something. And I don't even know how heavy did we make our sword. So we made it 3, and the shield is 4. So what would be a reasonable max weight, max carry weight to have? Max weight allowed, let's say 30. Let's say this guy's super buff. Now that would let him carry like 8 shields. Might be a bit much, but we can be a little generous, I suppose. Let's make it a little bit more roguelike, and make it, more about resource management. So let's see, 20. Gotta make smart choices. So let's say that max weight allowed is 20 units. So in our game init, let's see if we do we have a world state init that's we're going to create our items, carried items. Okay, so Basically going to walk our list of carried items. Oh, and this does not return a void, it's going to return a 32-bit int. So these are not going to be game objects. I think these are going to be, actually they're going to just be the equipment component. So this would be and I need a 32 total weight. Initialize it to 0, and then at the bottom here to return total weight. And in our loop, just going to total weight is equals equipment. So this will loop through all of the items we're currently carrying, grab the weight from each item and add it to the total weight, and then return that total weight. So down here, can the player pick it up? We will say carried weight is currently equal to item get weight carried, and then item object is an equipment. Our item object is pointing to the game, so we should save. I don't know why EQ would be. Let's check against it. Shouldn't be. So our condition is if the carried weight, currently carried weight, plus the weight of the object we're trying to pick up is greater than max. What did I call it? Weight something. Max weight allowed. We'll let them carry equal to the max weight, but if they try and carry more than the max weight, then say no. So let's, I always like to have my positive conditions in the first part of my if statement. Else would be, else you can't carry it, so. So the happy path is add the item to the player's carried items. Yay, they can carry it. And then the sad face is too much to carry. You gotta let something go. So in the no case, we're gonna say and we want this to be like a red message, like nope, sorry. So we'll do over to the red bits.
Try to forget that you were here. Some part of me wants to disappear with you. My soul and all that I could afford. So we gotta fall into what you explore.
So this would be up picked the So the last bit is to actually add that to the player's carried items. So we'll do list insert after. So that's what it is, and we're going to insert it after tail of the list. We're just going to pop it on, or we can just push it onto the head. So the first parameters are list, which in this case is carried items, right? No, what crap did we call it? Carried items. Right? Yeah. Carried items. We're going to pass it null, which means just push it onto the head of the list. Because we don't care about the order that they appear in the list. And the last bit is the item the item we're trying to push on there. So we want the equipment. We're pushing the equipment component onto the list. So it's going to be cute. And that should be that. Hey, Mr. Maru. Working on a roguelike in Go? No, this was never. I've never written anything in Go. This has been a roguelike in standard C from the beginning. So I think you've got the wrong guy, but feel free to stick around. My memory does that all the time. So now, theoretically, we've got this stuff added to the player's items. So let's do a build. Saved, yes. Got an error on line 239 of the game. Let's complain about this name. What kind of typo is that? Okay. 1200 about some declared. Yes, it's Pasta Madness, so it should be good. Grab the equipment. All right, we're building. So let's go see what we've got here. Let's find some items and see if we can pick. Oh, there's a sword. Excellent. Let's get it. Picked up the sword. Now, I realize now what we forgot to do, because look, it's still there. So we actually have to remove its position component. That's what we've got. Position. So we'll come back to that in a sec. I want to test. Now I'm locked up. I tried to get the shield. I locked up the... So... Close the program, because it is not responding. Some kind of infinite loop, perhaps. So let's see what our item get. Let's double check this list insert after. Insert to the so it takes the list, L, and then item. So that seems like it's proper usage. Guessing that the problem may be in our get weight carried, because that is the thing. We never get the next. Very important to have loops actually loop. So our while loop was just sitting and looping over the same E. So now we'll move to the next development list. Let's build that. Try that again. Alright, we'll get that, yes. Try and get this. Yes, we got it. Still there. Yay for infinite resources. I'm trying to hit the max. Okay, we should be close. Picked up the shield, maybe we won't be able to pick this one up. Ah, we're carrying too much already. Excellent. Okay, so that appears to work. The weight check and limiting the number of items we can carry. So, as part of our item get, we need to, when we move it into the player's carried items, we have to remove it from the map. And we do that by removing the position component from the object for that particular item of equipment. So you can see position. It has the X and Y coordinates on the map, and then the Z coordinate. We actually layer our map. So what we will do is item get. No. So we inserted into carried items right here. Let's do remove the item on the map. Take away. So we've got our item object. Let's do, can we do game object update component? Can we set it to null? Don't even remember. Give it to object. So that's what. Here, position. Here's what we want. So if we pass comp data, if we pass it null, then it will clear the component. Perfect. That's exactly what we want. So that takes our game object, which in this case is item object, and then the component. We want to clear it, so null. Let's just verify. Object, component, data. Yep. So this will remove it from the map. So it'll no longer have an XY position, be in the player's pack. And let's go. So when we pick up this sword, it should disappear. Or maybe just crash the game. It's always fun too. Let's try and figure out what went wrong before we throw it into debugger. Item object. Let's make sure item object is what we think it is. Item object is a game object, which is what we want. Oh. Yeah, game object. And then equipment is the equipment. So if we do game object update component on item object, which is not null, we remove its position. This looks okay to me. Anybody see a problem? Help me out in the chat. So, composition, this is what we would be in. If comp data is not equal to null, we would down to this else. Your component. Grab the position. It's not equal. Element with the data. It from position helper as well. Seems legit. Not a C programmer, huh? Are you a Go programmer? Since you were asking about that. Alright, let's run this and we'll throw it into debugger and see what's going on. Hey Rodrigo, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. looking at Go for what to learn next. Yeah, it's you work with Python and JavaScript. Well, JavaScript will be around for quite a while. Python is another thing. It'll be around for a while. Popular in certain industries. But Go seems to be gaining quite a bit of popularity. So we're blowing up in our... It's like it... Did it not... Do we have to remove it from... What's this? What are we flipping through? Visibility comps. Here's my stack. Render screen. Render game map. And we've got a bad position here. Object ID. That is our shield glyph. You can see it's got the... So we need to remove it from where we are looping through visibility comps. Visibility comps, what is this? That's our world state. Alright, so we're in render game map view, visibility comps. Which is our global list of all of our visibility. So did we not remove it from... Should clear it. It clears it right here. List remove element with data. Why? What?
Every man has his own ambition.
Visibility components. So maybe this is the first case where we have something with visibility that doesn't have a position. Maybe that's what's happened here. We just haven't encountered an object that has these properties before. The simple solution here is just protect against null, which we don't do, and previously didn't have any need to do. So we're gonna go jump into line 73 of our... Where the hell are we? Our game map view. Let's close this.
Every man has his own ambition. But even the impossible can happen.
That's our in-game screen. So our in-game screen. So previously, whenever we've had a something that's visible that has had a position. And that is no longer the case, because you can still have visibility properties, such as like a name and that sort of thing, without appearing at a position on the map. So let's just if to if we have an actual position component, then we'll do all this logic to determine if it's in fact visible on the map, visible to the player, and then regardless, we are going to jump to the next thing. So we're just going to skip over all this logic if we don't get back a position for that game object. Alright, let's see what we... So now when I pick it up, we should not crash. No crashy, and it's no longer on the map. Good. That's just what we want. Kill this kobold. Come on, get it! Let's try it one more time. Some more good stuff. Pick it up, picked up the shield, and it's no longer there. Okay, so looks like that works. Yay. Let's see, what else? So, right, it's not me, good. Yeah, everybody's writing a roguelike in some language or another. Not too many people do it in straight up C anymore, which is kind of why I started this project, because I wanted to do it to help learn C better, and really learn the ins and outs of building a game from scratch. So thinking through some of these algorithms has been kind of fun. You know, I code daily for a full-time job, but not in C, and it kind of forces you to think differently. It's good brain exercise. Let's see. Little string theory. So let me see if there's anything else to tackle right now. Yeah, it's definitely a lot more low level. Is Go fairly low level? Rust, yeah, Rust is trying to be the new systems programming replacement for C. A little bit safer than using C. I haven't really tried Rust yet, but maybe someday. Alright, so we've got our items appearing on the map. They're randomly generated. They're randomly placed through our dungeon level. Now when we walk over them, or walk into the same cell as the item, we get a message saying, hey, there's a sword here, there's a shield here, and we can hit G when we're standing there to pick that item up and put it in our list of carried items. However, that does not equip the item. So kind of the next phase of item and inventory management is putting together, let's see, I can show you right now. We did this a while back when we were putting all the different views in our game. I think if I hit I, so if I hit I right now, this pops up our inventory screen, which as you can see is completely blank. So not really useful, but what I'm thinking is that over here, there might be some representation of like your character, perhaps? Yeah, lots of room for stuff. Exactly, it's a blank canvas. We can have so much stuff. But I see maybe like a list of the stuff you're carrying over here, and an indication of whether it's equipped or not. And then maybe some kind of like stick figure rendering of your hero's body and which slots on those which slots on the body are taken up by equipment. So like if we go to, if you remember when we defined our equipment component, we have this string slot. Well, what that is going to be is a string like hand or head or arm, and it will basically act as our limiter to how much stuff you can carry or how much stuff you can equip. So let's say you've got one hand slot, and once that slot is filled with a sword or a mace or a dagger or whatever, you can't equip anything else in that slot until you unequip the whatever's already there. Similarly, you can only wear one helmet on your head. You can only have one shield on your arm. And so the slots will help us manage that. So, like I said, the inventory screen, it will hopefully display all of that information and then allow certain commands like equip, unequip. When we have items that can be used, then we'll have some sort of use command. And I don't think I have a way to get out of this screen. Let's look at we don't have a dismiss. Is that in our in-game? In our inventory view. And then show inventory overlay. We've got our I mapped to show inventory overlay. We're going to need some way to dismiss that screen at some point. But I have reached the end of my kind of time slot for streaming today, so I'm going to hit the pause button for now, but I think we got a lot accomplished. The next phase will be building out that inventory screen. I want to figure out, off-stream, kind of figure out what exactly information I want to display on that screen. And then next stream would be implementing the inventory management screen. So, thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the stream. If you want to catch previous streams, I've archived everything on YouTube, so you can go to the link right there. Check out the YouTube archives. If you subscribe, you'll be notified the next time that I put an archive up on YouTube. If you have any, see you later, Mr. Maru. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up on Twitter at PDCodes. And again, the source code is available on GitHub. I'll be doing a commit of the most recent changes as soon as I end the stream. So you can grab those and play along at home or tweak them or use them as the basis for your roguelike. So if you want to be notified the next time I go live, please hit that follow button. It's much appreciated. And I will catch you next time. Good night.